Shubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Ke komiti Halor ke roster system kala rai ban penyari ke jeli jongka banyak keren lang Halor ke reservation policy banyak ke rai an pas ke sarkar jela bahkan menjur ya kan ile ya thu mentak sngi ke arp kundai trik jembang arajar arpulai da ke shongknor jong ke komiti Halor ke roster system ke Dr. Maisel Amperin Lingdo haba keren jikilat patai kubor hadin ke jingelang ke bening kong jong baro ki sengsan pertai ki badan lang ha ke komiti Halor ke roster system ke kong Amperin kala ong nakaliang ke komiti kala yo banyak keren lang bat ki sengsan pertai ki baya simbenta ha ke jingelang Kynthup ya ke Garo National Council ke bami khmat do nongelam jongka lingba ke video conference ke kong Amperin kala ong ru ba ke komiti ka sngodai ba ke VPP ru ka dai ban donlang banyak keren Halor ke reservation policy ban peni ki jing kedau jongka ki badan ha ka policy kumta kala ong ban kaliang ke komiti kan pha ya kane ke sarkar bat ka shong ke sarkar ban menjur la kan Kynthup lang ya ka mat Halor ke reservation policy ha kane ke jo ke komiti ka badai Halor ke roster ne kan don de ka weipat ke komiti Halor ke reservation policy shusho ke kong Amperin kala ya tho ba ke komiti kan saya kendo biang ha ka lai puetrik menta ubnai jemang ha secretariat ha ka por architect no phaisngi to mentangin ngap ya ka jingpen bena jong ka shongknor ke komiti Halor ke roster ke Dr. Amperin Lingdo
Jadi shong jungi mentan ke jami sau beji haka office jong ka secretariat jong ka sarkar nilai shim ya karai Halor pikat tu kat ni di benta jong ka Jingïakren Halor ka roster ka badai kata ka rukom pentrikam ya kata ka reservation policy kumbaga long hi menta barok ki political parties ki balasya long member hakani ka committee ko jongi ngilay kendo panya merging bot lang ki paralok jongi na GNC na program hensru ila attend ni kini lang jongi da ka video conferencing ngilay rai lang barok ki party ki bawan jongi lang ba ya ka roster ka bakani ka sarkar ka pentre kam ya ka reservation policy ladek konsultu de political parties baro baro ki political parties ki la ay ki jingbut ki jokki katu katni ki bang nang penbha shushu ya kata ka roster but ngin sapha ye kini ki jingrai ki jungni shaka sarkar so honorable chief minister ba unshim ya kita ki jingrai ki jungni Halor kita ki kendon baro tadi ka committee ru ka snow ba kadai ka committee ka badai ban ay lat lang ya baro ki political parties ki badon ha kadai ka jela ka jogi bukin wan ship bentalang ha kadai ka Jingïakren next ni nilayo ya ka tuway ka chiti na ka BPP na president jong ka BPP bakin wan siya kadai ka Jingïakren nakadaw ka bakin ay ko ini but ngi snow malesi aladay ka po ya kadai ka committee bahkan ay jingbut ito sarkar jela ko jogi baka dayru lesi man syairi bangin ay lan ya ka voice of the people bahkan konsultu ya kata ka jinggam kam ban lesi pintelay ya kata ka state job reservation policy ti habang nila play ya kata ka Jingïakren siya kata ka thongpan but siya kata ka kendon pan kan long ka badon kam ni ban sya lang ye ki veda ki political parties bakin ya ay jingbut lang next ni ki political parties ki lakren om tang sa pang roster kani ka Jingïakren bajungi ka kren tang sa pang roster kalakta ru ya ki ka tu ka ni ki mat ki badon rengkat lang ha ka reservation policy naman ngi yo i ba ka don ka way ka political party ka bas ngong don kam ngine ngilayayat palat ya kata ka roster Jingïakren ti kibe ki mat ngilawan lang namat kibe ki mat ki wan na katay ka reservation policy kung mga ong kabadi ka kami tinakata ka daw lesi banbha ngin ong yung honorable chief minister ngin pa ya kata ka may news pangilaya del rai late pero kat ki political parties ki bawan manaten pero lang tungi nagaro hens pilaya don kam banya don lang hakum kata ka rai ay wangin trend Namar hinne klam dom ka term of reference ban kren jipanga reservation policy. Tang namar po pikren jipanga roster pihap kren te jipanga reservation policy ru. Reservation policy kadai katan rai. Ka roster kadai tang kumno ban penyad ya kata ka reservation. Ka kami bat ka kon. Bat ladangi hak ban shim ya kanu ka rai ka ban don ka jing ta ya ki pateng ki banwan. Don kam ban ai ya kata ka lenti ka la ya baro pi political parties bandon bantalam ngin pha ya kani ka jing sngau ka jungi sya ka sarkar jilla ban ngin request ya ka sarkar jilla ban place sa khandit ikai jingkhang bangin yo ban ya ailat pat saya ka voice of the people party bakan wan bakan ra ya kita ki jing yo I bat ki jing shem bat ki jing sngau ki jong ki halor ka ka reservation policy Nek sengi kiwe ki political parties ki laya play lang ya kata. Nilaya keren ni ya kita ki mat ki ban kata. Namar primla ban keren sipang ka roster ada prim keren sipang ka reservation policy. Tingin sa pelong biang ya gan kecinggilang. But ni daya aware ya ka voice of the people party bukan smobha ban one shakman. Ngin pan jingbit, ngin pan hukum. Namat kani ka committee na labi kam dong ya kata ka mandate lani ya kata ka authority ban shim ya kum kita kilai ndrengin da ra ya kani ka suggestion jumi sha ka sarkar jilla ka jumi ban ni ngin kermen maka sarkar jilla ru kan sha ini ru bangin sha ya baro ki political parties bakin wan lang kimla bandan ko bai ka political party ka ban om ngin tre ya Kajing rai jungi kanumlong ka babet. Kajing rai jungi kanumlong ka ba pura. Hap ai ni kala iki. Badla ki kisngau ba kimla bakin discuss ka roster policy namar ba ki kwa kren shwaya kan kami. Kabade ka reservation policy. Tinggi hinne nilai kren tinggi nilai pur ki khana ki jungi she ki bon banta jo reservation policy. Tingin ai lad bat min ngap ya kata kajing ai jing mud. Namar khadu yo ai ni kwa mantai. Om tang ka sarkar ka badan bentaha kani nga tharai baro ki political parties ki don kam ban don ktilang bat nga tharai chief minister undang pun kre ki jingyalang par ki stakeholders ki nong shim benta ki nong joks nong ki balai se ki lu ki laban ai jingmut namar si sem ba pikta ya kani dai ban kta na kam ta jing ba ka ban ne buns nem titandi ni kwa lu banda ai ka kerwo Show President Jong ka voice of the people party lada long ka bala ni baro ki parties ni lay shong ne kas ni ban ya theri ka ni ka kam ni kwa ya phiru ba phin don bentalang hakum ka ni ka jing shim rai re kan long ka jing shim rai ka bambit ka bambia sngo ha one shaka Jingïakren ai jingmut ya ka ni ka committee Bat ni kermen baka sarkar jelaru kan sngap ya kata ka jing kren ka jungi ka jing ai jing mut ka jungi nakabenta ka jing bhalang jong ki pateng ki banwan ha ka ni ka jela ka ba e ka jungi tang da gini ki kenten kindet ni ai kubla yipi bat sngom ha pen tiang lem ya ka ni ka message ka bangi pha sabaro kinong sok snong jo ka jela one Jingïakren but niya snap, but niya ajin mutla. Tang bikini. The inclusiveness of the recommendations to be given to the government. As of now, a main party who has 4 MLAs in the Legislative Assembly is not part of this conversation and discussion. Hence, it is lacking of inclusiveness. If you want it to be inclusive, we may extend the main discussion on the reservation, the job reservation policy of the state of Meghalaya, because anyways, other members of other political parties in their deliberations today refer to other points of the reservation policy, and hence it is by default that we anyways had to discuss the reservation policy. We did an exercise that was already completed. Because roster in isolation from reservation policy does not stand ground. It will only stand ground if you open this discussion on certain aspects of the reservation policy as well. Now, we don't know whether the Honourable Chief Minister will allow this committee to take that up, or whether he will form another committee of experts, or whether he will himself chair any committee. We leave it to the wisdom of the government. We are not mandated. A committee is not a cabinet. Any policy decisions are taken at the cabinet level. We are just here formed for the main purpose of discussing the proposed reservation policy. Any decisions we take have to be forwarded to the highest authority, which is the Honourable Chief Minister, who will then discuss it with the cabinet of this state. Only then can you bring the necessary changes in various OMs that have come over the last few 4 decades, 5 decades ago. So many OMs, one after the other. All of those OMs now have to be reviewed, particularly the OM of 2022-05-2022. If you have to have a roster in place, and that roster application is prospective, all OMs will have to be redundant. A new OM will have to come into place. And that is how government functions. Only lend suggestions, because we have been mandated only to discuss with political parties, which is the exercise which we have engaged with.
I'm coming with the minds of the MLAs or the party representative from Gorals, when you have said that you will take over the government on reviewing the reservation policy. What is the mind of the MLAs?
Please do not talk about MLAs. The terms of reference of our committee is strictly the discussion between political parties. Political parties in the state of Meghalaya. The GNC from Gam Hills was also party to these discussions. All other parties came bearing one. Hence, we feel it is not inclusive. Decisions for the future have to be inclusive decisions. Political parties being the main provisions for the main individuals who will be looking at institutionalization of law. So we cannot, we can only lend suggestions to the government. We cannot decide. We are not a competent authority to decide.
What is the
And
mind?
Knam also, I think they have
Yes.
decided not to attend the meeting.
No, they have not decided not to attend the meeting. I'm sorry. To my knowledge, the CNUM has expressed its inability to attend this meeting because there was short notice. But the CNUM has already sent a letter to the government of Meghalaya. In fact, letter was addressed to me as Honourable Law Minister of the government of Meghalaya. These letters are now being shared with all members of this committee, and we are meeting on the 31st at 2:30 to discuss everything that everyone has sent to the government on the matter of the roster. At the end of this day, the minutes of this meeting are now being prepared, and we will urgently send them and place them before the attention of the Honourable Chief Minister at the earliest, likely by the end of this day. A special request and a special petition to the President of the Voice of the People's Party. No conversation on the roster would be complete. It would be unfair and not inclusive on our part not to also include the VPP, because every political thought in the state is important. This is an important milestone that we are about to cross. Let us do it together, and we fervently appeal, please come to the next discussion. And we want to tell you that we are requesting the government to allow us to go beyond the terms of reference of this committee and to be inclusive, and to also allow this committee or any other committee, even at the leadership of the Honourable Chief Minister, to take up this matter in the interests of the people of the state of Meghalaya. Thank you.